Hey kitty queens, it's Kate, and I am just here to give you a little disclaimer before we launch into this week's episode. I made a grave mistake. That being, I was not wearing headphones when we recorded this week's episode, and there's some pretty significant feedback because of it. I was having technical difficulties, and instead of just resolving it like a normal person, I assumed everything would be fine. Well, that's not the case because pretty much like 3 seconds after Kelly says something into her microphone, you can hear it in my microphone, and it's just not cute. And there's also some like weird like white noise happening in the back. So altogether, not our best work, but we keep it real on this podcast and wanted to just be straightforward, and instead of giving you nothing, we want to give you something, and that something is pretty exciting. We're talking Grammys. We have a theater review. I went to see Ariana Madix as Roxy Hart in Chicago last week, and I've got some hot takes. We're even diving into some personal woes and things happening in our lives per usual, so definitely lots of fun stuff that you don't want to miss. If you can persevere and stick with us, we hope you won't be disappointed in the content aspect of things, and we promise to never ever do you dirty with this audio again. We love you so much. Enjoy! Glamour kitties, and welcome back to the Savage Says podcast. It's Kate.
And it's Kelly. I know you were all very, very, very worried about us and where we went last week. We took a little mid-season break to reset and recharge, and absolutely no one asked where we were or noticed that an episode was missed. So
yeah, don't worry everyone, we're fine. So glad you guys were all very concerned about our well-being and our social media President's Day is coming up, however. But it is not here with us yet. Well, maybe don't shout out to all the presidents, but some of them. Yeah. That's not the point of this podcast. We don't stand with every single president.
It doesn't matter. It's just, whatever president you like, roll with it. Right. This is not a political podcast, except when we decide it is, and that's not today. So, one thing that did happen yesterday was the Grammys, which I actually watched, and I haven't watched an award show like certainly from start to finish in a long time. Did you watch? Because I was confused about you trying to get logged on.
Yeah, I actually did. I don't have cable, or I think I don't. At least I don't think I have cable. We have like a smart TV, obvi, and all the streamers that I can either hack into from friends' logins or our own, but I somehow was able to stream CBS Live. I don't really know how, but I was able to pull that up when I searched like Grammys on my smart TV. So I didn't get to watch the red carpet like special. I guess that wasn't on the normal CBS channel, but the Grammys were, so I was able to have that on. I was like halfway paying attention, but I watched all the big moments, aka Miley and Taylor and Olivia Rodrigo.
Pop queens rise up.
Yeah.
Well, just to clarify, the red carpet is never on CBS. On cable. That's just always the main show. The carpet E made famous for like covering that live.
Oh,
so that's on
E.
Okay. Which I was suspecting. I do have cable because we live in an apartment building and it provides it. But I was suspecting that you could probably actually watch E and the like red carpet on Peacock, which we have. So something to think about next time. But I'm going to be honest. Laverne Cox and Heather McMahon were doing the red carpet, and like Laverne Cox, I don't have a strong opinion about. She was awkward and like kind of bombed interviewing people, in my humble opinion. Yeah.
I don't even know who that is.
She got famous from Orange is the New Black. You would know her.
Is she Big Red?
No.
Oh my god. Fun fact, my castmates / friends, but not in this moment, told me that I looked like Big Red from Orange is the New Black in my wig, which was
your wig was red.
Okay, yeah, but that shouldn't automatically mean I look like a woman in a female prison.
Just because I have red hair. but no. Well, one person I do think looks like Big Red or Little Orphan Annie is Ice Spice when she's doing that red curly hair thing.
Oh, yeah. A little bit.
And I am really relieved that that was not the look she was sporting last night. I'm all for natural hair, but the red is obviously not her natural hair. Like, it just literally looks like a Orphan Annie wig, and I'm relieved that we did not see it last night.
Well, maybe she's just into theater and wants to pay homage to the great classic that is Annie.
Annie the musical.
Speaking of
backwards.
Ice Spice.
Well, I wasn't done with my red carpet critique, and that was that Laverne Cox was meh. You'll have to look up who that is in a minute. And honestly, Heather McMahon wasn't great either.
Yeah.
And I like Heather McMahon. She's a DG sister. I think she's good, and I don't know. Point being, you didn't miss anything on the red carpet coverage.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Kind of disappointing. I'm a Heather McMahon fan, too. Only since seeing her live at Radio City on accident. But I'm disappointed to hear that she didn't kill it on the red carpet. But, I mean, being a comedian and being a, reporter of sorts, two very different skill sets.
Totally. And I think that is what was going on. I wouldn't say she was monopolizing the interviews, but she's not a reporter and she's not a host. She's a comedian. And so I think perhaps what I was feeling was just she was a little outside of her comfort zone in terms of interviewing people, making it about them rather than riffing on what they were saying, which is her skill set. But what I'm kind of feeling and what I'm happy for her about is that I feel as if E is positioning her as the next Joan Rivers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the comedian on the carpet and providing funny takes on people's looks. The only thing though is I think, Joan Rivers was doing her thing at 80 years old where she didn't give a single cluck about offending people, and Heather McMahon is way younger than that and just building her career, that she's probably not going to go all in on offending people in their outfits.
Right.
Which is what Joan Rivers made famous.
Yeah, maybe in the comfort of her own home or even the comfort of her own shows, but live on television, probably a different arena. And I'm
totally
with you. But wow, that's interesting. That'll be exciting to watch and see how that transpires.
Totally. Well, I agree. I am a pop girly. So highlight Grammy moments for me: Taylor, Olivia, and Miley. Olivia less so. I root for her, but she also kind of bums me out whenever I see her.
Right.
She just always looks kind of sad and
she just has so much teenage angst, and I'm not really sure why. I'll try not to diverge too far, but I've been totally obsessing and hyperfixating on the High School Musical series that came out literally 4 years ago, when Olivia Rodrigo rose to fame from her hit single Driver's License, who she wrote about her co-star of this High School Musical show.
Wasn't she on High School Musical, the musical, before Driver's License? She was on that first. Yeah, okay.
Yes. Okay. But apparently, I'm pretty sure that the boy she wrote this about was Joshua Bassett, who was her opposite co-star.
Totally.
Which is just so silly, because now I'm watching this show, and they're very much, and I did the math and stuff, and obviously researched every single one of their pasts and ages, etc. And they were very much 15 when they shot this show. So I'm how much emotional turmoil did you actually go through at 15, Olivia Rodrigo?
Oh my God.
Also, this
a lot
is
Have you ever listened to Driver's License? It's
heart-wrenching. I know. I'm just it's so silly to watch it back, because when everyone was interested in the hype of it all, I did go and watch the show like everybody else, but I think I wasn't really tuned in. I was just doing it because everybody else was. I was drinking the Kool-Aid. So anyway, that's that. My journey with that has been a whole spiral this past week, which we could perhaps get into later, but it makes me sad that Olivia Rodrigo and Taylor Swift really do seem to have beef.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no concrete evidence, and I feel society as a whole kind of just let it roll off our backs. We're oh, what happened? Meh. Okay, and then we moved on. But why are we not talking about that? Olivia Rodrigo is how many, almost like 15 years younger than Taylor, or like something crazy, big age difference, in that she was like very little when Taylor was in, not that Taylor's not in her prime right now, I would say she is at her peak.
Yeah, she grew up with her as a superstar the whole time.
Yes. And it was like very, very public that they had a connection, and that Olivia was like, had a mentor in her, if you will. And now, like, watching them side by side on camera, and they're just like clapping for each other with like nothing behind the eyes, is so sad.
Well, that's the thing, though, is I also read about this a long time ago because I was like, what happened? And I think the whole mentor thing maybe got blown out of proportion because from what I kind of read between the lines was that like Olivia expected her to be a mentor to her, but Taylor was like maybe doing her own thing. And then the real beef seems to have come from the fact that Taylor or Taylor's team claims that some of Olivia's album Sour like was low-key ripping off some of Taylor's lyrics in certain places.
Right.
And therefore they like retroactively claimed credit, and like Olivia had to like give her royalties and stuff. I had understood that whole situation, that like Taylor had been a collaborator on her album and like helped her write this and was like a songwriting mentor.
Right.
No. That all like got retroactively applied after they were like, you're giving us credit for some of this music because this is a ripoff of Taylor's stuff.
I see.
And then Olivia was like mad and sad and has like never since referenced her in a positive way, and or really just not at all. But really where I think the biggest kind of like aha is, and this is pretty messy, is Sabrina Carpenter's involvement in all of this, because for those who don't know the next layer of driver's license, like that reference to you're probably with that blonde girl who always made me doubt, is that the lyric? That blonde girl is Sabrina Carpenter, who was also a Disney Channel star on a different show at the same time as Olivia Rodrigo and Joshua Bassett. And they were rumored to have been hooking up, seeing each other, whatever, and been Olivia's blonde girl that she referenced in the song. Well, when Driver's License blew up, everybody allegedly came for Sabrina Carpenter, being like, you're a whore, you wrecked their marriage, even their 15-year-old marriage. You're a home wrecker. And then, and she has a song about it, and there's like a lyric and it was like a response song to Driver's License where it says, I'm a home wrecker, I'm a slut.
Right.
Something
home wrecker. That's so funny. They're literally in their Disney Channel trailers, like,
yeah, you literally live in your parents' home. There's no home to wreck unless something else is happening. But like, yeah. And so that went back and forth for a little bit. Okay, fast forward like 2 years. They've been seen together at the Met Gala, Olivia and Sabrina. So like they seem to be playing along that like, we're fine, everything's fine. Except then Taylor invites Sabrina as the opener for her South American leg of her Eras tour. And you cannot tell me that that just had nothing to do with the fact that she either has beef with Olivia Rodrigo or wanted to have beef with Olivia Rodrigo, because Olivia Rodrigo honestly seems like the better fit for the opener for the Eras tour.
Yeah.
And yet, well, firstly, hot take alert, we went to the Eras tour, very lucky, on my birthday. When they announced who the openers were, like across the US, I was like, who are these people?
Yeah.
And was like really excited about none of them, except for maybe Haim, who didn't play Our City. And I can appreciate like wanting to give lesser known artists the opportunity to be in front of that many people and like level up in their careers. But I found out yesterday that Gracie Abrams, who is also up for a Grammy, is J.J. Abrams' daughter.
Who's J.J. Abrams? I didn't know that she was like a Nepo baby, but also who's J.J. Abrams?
I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to make myself sound stupid. No, I'm right. J.J. Abrams is the director of Star Wars. Among other movies.
She didn't need a platform.
Abrams didn't need a platform. And like, I'm not taking away from her work. I'm just saying my previous understanding was like, oh, Taylor plucked these like lesser known artists out of obscurity because she thought they were really talented and like deserved a leg up in the industry. Star Wars daughter didn't need a leg up.
That's
so
that's
funny. My take on that.
No idea. yeah,
I
pop
am also
culture
just
expert Kelly.
jealous. I'm also just jealous because I would have literally given a limb, like a left limb, so I could still like get around, but
right, maybe
to see Sabrina Carpenter as the opener.
Yeah,
like such a better opener than everyone else that was on the US lineup. Sorry, everyone else.
Yeah. I know. It's kind of a hot take, I think, especially for the Gen Zs, but I'm with you. I love Sabrina Carpenter. Like I stand with both ladies. I frankly, I mean, I say I don't care about any of this as I've like actually dedicated my entire life to this like 2019 drama this past week, and also like I'm very impressed by that synopsis that you just gave because that was like very on point.
Thank
and
you so much.
And clarified a lot of things for me, so I appreciate that. I don't even remember what I was saying, but I stand with both ladies. I think it's water under the bridge. Also, Joshua Bassett is like irrelevant, so they both win.
Has literally come out as gay. And
wait, really?
Yeah, I think.
Oh my god! Like clearly, I'm not doing the research that I thought that I was.
If he didn't come out, it was like understood. I think that like these girlies, these hot pop girlies, were feuding, and everybody was like, "Wait, guys, stop! It's literally not that serious because he's not into either of you."
That's
and
hilarious.
He has a good
Cherry
song
on
called oh my god, what's it called? I can hear it now. It's called Crisis, and I listened to that song on loop, and it the literal like bridge, or I don't know how to describe parts of songs, but it's like the beginning part says, "My agent told me never miss a crisis," or something.
Oh my god.
And he sings about how like he's getting death threats to his house, but that like essentially that Olivia Rodrigo caused a crisis in his life by creating a crisis through her song driver's license, and that now she doesn't give two clucks about him or any of it, even though she ruined his life. But like to that I say that this is very Taylor, like don't hurt girls' feelings and they don't have to ruin your life.
Right. Exactly. It's that simple.
It's that
giving,
simple.
Not just what resonated with me in what you just said, in that like she ruined Joshua Bassett's life and then just like doesn't care and is like, I'm on the Grammys, I'm nominated. Like giving Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
What?
Like
an
a little
abstract connection.
The way that she just is on, like she is working the press and is just like, I think he's paying for the part that he did, and I think I paid for my piece of this. Anyway, I know we talked about Gypsy Rose in length the last episode or a few episodes ago, so I won't go there, but like I just had to say it.
No, you're right. I see what you mean in that. But to wrap up our Grammy thoughts, or mine at least, new album by Taylor.
Yeah. Exciting stuff.
That was honestly so funny that she just like kind of like, oh, thank you for my award early on in the show. I'm going to drop a piece of information that is going to distract everyone from the rest of the show for the next several hours, and then walk off and not care.
Right.
She's definitely in her like, I do not care what the like constructs are anymore. Like I make constructs. I'm not following them. Yeah. And what a time to be alive.
Who runs the world? Taylor. Matt
was gagged when his queen Celine Dion came out to present the award for Best Album. Yeah. Matt has a few women in his life that he loves. Number 1 is Celine Dion. Number 2 is Taylor Swift. Number 3 is me, hopefully.
Yeah. I was going to say that's probably a proper order.
Yeah, I'm accepting of it. But he was like so nervous because he was like, oh my god, what if Taylor wins and Celine gives the award to Taylor? And I was like, well, that's probably what's going to happen. And then it did. And he was like freaking out, like so excited to watch this handoff. And then Taylor kind of had like a very lackluster interaction with Celine Dion.
I know.
And a lot of people were like not happy about it, but then she was a smart person and got that picture backstage and made sure it got posted. So crisis averted. But Matt was a little like, ooh, that's not the moment I was hoping for between his ladies.
I have to say, I love Taylor so much. Of course, our queen. She was giving a little like all over the place last night. her looks,
She was
honestly,
probably like a little bit tipsy, you know?
right, as she should be. Like, go off,
Yeah,
queen.
she was late, and then so was someone else. But I'm like, okay, wait, how did we like let these people be late? Like, how did you start the Grammys without Taylor Swift to proceed?
I know. Apparently, Miley was late too. She was like, I almost didn't get here, but then I did, and like she was making a big. I thought Miley was giving a little messy too. I think this might be a hot take. I mean, I thought, of course, Miley was spectacular. So happy for her. The fact that she was wearing Bob Mackie is iconic. She had not one, but two, maybe more Bob Mackie looks. And I know that's probably going to go underappreciated and overlooked, but I would just like to bring it forward to this community that she, in fact, was wearing from Bob Mackie's 2002 collection, Broadway Lovers or something.
Wow, I didn't know that. Well, for those who don't know, Bob Mackie is a famous Broadway costume designer who became most notable as a collaborator with Cher in her early days. But he has some signature looks and pieces, including heavily beaded, sparkly things, which obviously are our favorites. And those costumes were iconic. And yeah, I mean, her hair wasn't doing the most for me. It like worked last night, but oh my God, her body looked so good.
Yeah.
Like whatever she's doing, which is probably a lot of work. I'm not saying cosmetic work. I'm saying like she's probably working out and like treating her body like a temple. She looked amazing. I'm thrilled. This is the Miley I've rooted for much more so than the Wrecking Ball era.
Yeah. I was going to say, I hope she's not doing cocaine. Like, but she looked like muscular and fit.
No. She looked fit. Like she was probably doing cocaine 10 years ago.
Right.
She didn't look
during the Wrecking Ball era.
Yeah. I think she's in a good place, and I'm happy for her.
I think so too. Yeah, but her it was lovely and fun and great. But when she was like ad-libbing in, what was she singing? Flowers?
Yeah.
I was like, oh gosh, this is so many words in so little time. It made me nervous a little bit, but enjoyable nonetheless. And
yeah, I could have done without the lack of panties comment. After the second award she received,
I'm not gonna lie, I really was like halfway tuned in to the whole show. I didn't hear that.
Oh, well, she like took her award, whatever, said thank you, whatever, and then she was like, I'm not wearing panties, y'all. And it was very much like, you didn't, this is like a dignified event of sorts. Like, you're on top tonight, no need to like trash it up.
Stay there, queen.
Yeah. But overall, good night for Miley.
Sure.
One thing I wanted to mention is that for whatever reason, I was struck this weekend, or specifically yesterday and to begin today, with the strong urge to re-engage with Real Housewives of Salt Lake.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I don't really watch Housewives or like much TV like that airs on TV or like reality television at all. And this is not like a moral statement. I'm not better than any of it. I just have never gotten into it. And especially with Housewives, it felt like I was behind, like, and I was like too far gone for me to jump in the middle and like understand what was going on.
Yeah.
But Salt Lake obviously only started 3 years ago. So I watched the first season, I think 2 years ago, which was like a year late. But I watched it before all the Jen Shah drama went down and was like caught up. And then all the Jen Shah drama went down. And I didn't watch the next season, or maybe the next, I don't know. And I've done it since. And I think this like second season that I just started is filmed in like 2021. Like they're still wearing masks and stuff in some scenes. So yeah, I am getting back on that train mostly because of like the whole reality Von Teese thing that has blown up the internet, and like Heather's monologue where she's screaming receipts, screenshots, proof.
Yeah.
I need the whole context because I'm familiar with the whole reality Von Teese like drama, but I don't get it because I don't know the person, because she wasn't on the one season that I watched. So that's why I'm getting back into it. I needed just like a silly watch. Because Dance Moms is starting to grate on me a little bit. Yeah. Now that I'm in like the later seasons, I'll get back into that too. But I needed another like mindless watch, and this is it for the moment.
Cleanse. That's great. So you're enjoying yourself. You're enjoying what you're watching, or is it like more of a slow burn and where you're getting into it because you know what you're wanting to get to, but it's not good. That's what I've experienced with Housewives sometimes, and like Bravo TV.
I'm waiting.
In general. It's like, yes,
and it's actually background TV for me. Like I can't do just one thing. Like, I love Candy Crush. And I haven't always loved Candy Crush. I got into Candy Crush like 9 months ago, which is like, 8 years later than everyone else.
A little behind the curve.
Yeah, and I like hate to admit that I'm like spending money on Candy Crush to like pass certain levels. I know. I don't want to talk about it that much.
Instead.
Well, you don't give me the immediate dopamine hit that like passing the
right
the level
I wish I could.
At least not from afar. Maybe when you're in person and I can make you like do tricks and then
right
tip you. Yes, we could try that.
Okay, great. Well, we'll circle back to that eventually.
Yeah. We'll see if that fulfills my needs the same way. But like, it's a great show to play Candy Crush too. Yeah. Or like, I was writing emails this afternoon. Like, I just had it on in the background and like doing some other stuff that needed to get done. So
right,
that's my take for right now.
So very much. Actually, okay, just like, pardon my candor, but like, I am like, I think having a mental breakdown like for the past week and a half, and it's not that deep. It's just like, if I seem a little bit like a space cadet, it's because like I feel like one. But also like, I think my anxiety is just kind of like spiking right now because I've always been like this. I've always, as are you, and correct me if I'm wrong, like enjoy like a background noise to go to sleep, like a TV on to drift off to sleep with, and like I have to be stimulated in my home, especially when I'm alone. Like, I can't just like get home. I have to turn on either like a podcast or some music or something. And if I'm like working on the couch or like doing something on my computer, even if it requires my attention, like I need something in the background, and usually it has to be more than just like background music. So I have turned to Housewives. Well, I was actually strongly advised by a friend that I need to watch Housewives of Beverly Hills, and I said, okay, I will watch that if you watch Selling Sunset. The deal was not reciprocated, but that's okay. I launched into Housewives.
Who's this friend? Like, we need to put them on blast because, sorry to our Real Housewives community, but like Selling Sunset is better.
The thing about it is that there's so much more substance.
I like it better.
Sure. Maybe, okay, this point is arguable now that the past few seasons have been like kind of trash, but the first few seasons of Selling Sunset, astounding television. Like, it's so unique because I feel like it's a reality show, but it's about more than just like the people. It's about the work that they're doing too.
Right. That, and it was hard. You're exactly right. That's why I liked it, because to me, it had a substantive aspect in the real estate angle of it all. And I think in the more recent seasons, it's dancing away from that in trying to be as sexy as possible. Right. But I think in the beginning, like if you go watch episode 1, season 1, they don't look nearly as LA superstar, glamazon, Instagram models as they do now. I think they legitimately all were like, and probably still are high producing real estate agents that like are out there hustling and building empires for themselves. Yeah. And you don't have to do that. You don't have to be that. But I'm no shade to Housewives. I would love to be one. But
of course,
to me, I agree. The better television that I am enjoying has more dynamic to it, rather than just like women squabbling at each other over general women stuff. Like Selling Sunset is doing that too, all within this. But there's like this undercurrent of like we're competing against each other in the aspect of highly lucrative business,
right,
rather than just personal drama.
Right. Yeah. So I think that was perfectly said. And like same but different to Vanderpump Rules, in that the first few seasons were like these, I don't want to say struggling, like couldn't be me, but like artists like in LA, actors, models, who were like working. Obviously Lisa Vanderpump was not a nobody. They knew what they were getting into and like who they were dealing with, and they knew they were going to be close to Bravo land and whatever. But I don't think that like Sir and Pump, are those the two restaurants? Had that reality show yet, right? Anyway, doesn't matter. I feel
yeah.
like the first few seasons were like more so about.
I'm not into Vanderpump for the same reason. I think they're mostly fighting about personal stuff, and they're also bartenders and servers that share a work environment. Whereas I think for me, the more compelling part about Selling Sunset is these people are doing big business, and that is creating conflict for them in a lot of places.
That's why I say that they are different in that it was just like the characters were more like, I don't want to say humble, but like scrappy, and that made it more interesting too. Whereas now, like Vanderpump Rules, they're all reality stars, and we're just watching reality stars for the sake of them being reality stars.
Totally.
And I
Before,
only say that
they had like a La Vie Boheme ness to it, that they were
for sure
all there, like a means to an end of doing something else, and now they're like just still on the show to be on the show.
Right, exactly. I say all that just because I started watching Vanderpump Rules when the Sandoval, if you will, madness started, and I couldn't really get into it, and I still put it on, and I just like I'm not really into it. And
oh my god,
yes,
but you just saw Ariana Madix on Broadway.
Yeah, that was my next segue, in that I actually had become an Ariana kind of like stan, if you will, not heavily, but like started following her when it was announced that she was going to be on Dancing with the Stars. And so that's kind of like really all that I know her from, and just like the background of what I know from Vanderpump. But it intrigued me, and I wanted to start watching because I had watched quite a bit of Housewives of Beverly Hills. And yeah, I'm like 5 episodes in, and I'm just like not really into it. It kind of stresses me out. But I did see Ariana as Roxy Hart in Chicago last week, and I have some thoughts if we want to hear them.
Yeah, I absolutely do. And if I can set the stage just to clarify.
Yeah.
What I read about Ariana, because I've never seen an episode of Vanderpump, but they announced her as Dancing with the Stars cast. Obviously, I don't live on a rock. I heard about the whole Scandival thing, which, for those who don't know, her boyfriend of like 10 years cheated on her with her best friend, and they all work at Pump, the restaurants or whatever. So then they're all in this show. So that was super rude and traumatizing for her. And then she was cast on Dancing with the Stars, kind of like as the heroine of this situation.
Yeah.
But she was a actress or pursuing acting in Los Angeles, as most of these people who worked at Pump and Sur and Via Blanca and whatever are or were. And so she has training as an actress and a dancer, which totally shone through on Dancing with the Stars. She was in the top 4. So while Chicago is like famous now for stunt casting randoms, including Real Housewives Erica Jane as Roxy Hart to sell tickets,
as well as Lisa Rinna as I believe Velma Kelly.
Yeah, but Lisa was in Chicago before Housewives.
She was? Oh, right. I forget she's an actress.
Lisa Rinna is a famous actress, so I feel like that was a little bit less egregious. Now they're just literally finding people off the street. But I guess like all that to be said, like, yes, Ariana's on Vanderpump, and this is like kind of feels like a tacky stunt cast in Chicago, but not really, because she was a trained actress and dancer. So like, while she probably may not have earned the part outright in a blind audition, I'm eager to hear your thoughts, because I feel like she maybe was actually working towards this her whole life.
Right. Yeah, that it makes me happy, and it made me happy to hear that had transpired for her, because quite honestly, I think she was well known and a celebrity, a reality star, but I think she skyrocketed to fame after Scandival happened, and I don't think Dancing with the Stars would have been a thing, and et cetera, et cetera. So, like, just looking back a year from now, or whenever that happened initially, to now, her, like, living her, like, actual dream is crazy. And, like, even just, like, I know a lot of pictures have surfaced from her as, like, a Disney character in literal Disney World. Like, she did the scrappy things as, like, the theater people do, and, you know, did her time. And so it's not that it's going, it's not that it's not well-deserved at all. That being said, I still didn't really know what we were walking into, because obviously we had seen her dance. Again, I don't know if this is a hot take, I was pretty underwhelmed by her, especially knowing that she did have theater training.
You were underwhelmed at the show or from Dancing with the Stars?
Dancing with the Stars.
Okay. But what about the show that you just saw?
I know, I'm getting there. So going in, I didn't really have high expectations anyway, but I was more concerned about the vocals, because I knew she studied theater, but I don't think it was particularly musical theater. I was pleasantly surprised by her performance. I thought she sounded not offensive. She seemed very nervous. I went on her second performance ever, so, like, totally understandable. This Broadway stuff is no joke. They rehearse lickety-split, so I'm sure she did not have a lot of rehearsal time, and is stepping into a cast of, like, very seasoned professionals, obviously, the best of the best on Broadway in an extremely long-running show. I think the Velma Kelly had been there for like 20 years or something crazy. I don't know, I'll have to check my playbill, but she was thrown in there. She was on her first entrance was like on a ladder or something crazy. She like sung her first song like 20 feet in the air. Like, I would probably be nervous too. But immediately my thought when she first like runs out, I feel like I'm watching Ariana Madix play Roxy Hart, which, like, obviously I am, but you're not necessarily supposed to feel that way. But maybe it's the celebrity aspect of it all. Like, I don't think, as far as I can remember, I had experienced that before, seen somebody very, very well known for something other than, like, musical theater in a part like this. And I kind of felt that throughout the whole show of, like, I felt like the acting choices, not that I'm a, professional, I felt like it was just a little surface level. The dancing was fine, singing was fine. I would say it was all fine. And she did a lovely job and made me giggle. Was she out of this world? No. And I think I've kind of chalked it up to, this sounds so mean, but, like, she just doesn't have, like, star quality. And it's just something you can't
Maybe
teach.
That's why she didn't break into television or movies before Vanderpump.
Right. So,
but she seems like a nice person, and she went to Flagler, which is a random college near where we grew up. So that's a random connection. So I'm glad that you had a good time and that it wasn't painful.
Yeah, it was so fun, and I was so glad I got to see her. It was very special and exciting. But yeah, I don't really have any, like, groundbreaking thoughts other than she was good, and I thought her like, peak performance was, the peak performance in that show, which is the Roxy Hart song. I thought she performed really well in that number. But, like, the dancing is very stylized. It's very it is difficult, period.
It's specific.
It's specific, and I think that's also why they can kind of, like, stunt cast the hell out of the show, is because it's like, well, it's fine. Like, the dancers are going to dance, and you're going to do, be cute and do the moves, but it's,
right.
We can throw you in there, so.
Well, and that's literally the concept of the show, too, for those who don't know Chicago. Like, it's a wannabe starlet.
Right.
Who, like, is trying to get her big break, but can't until she murders her husband.
Right.
So hopefully that never happens for Ariana, but, like, in a very poetic way, it's kind of the same thing. Like, until she had this tragic situation with a long-term lover, she did not get the spotlight she was seeking. So maybe they were thinking about this in a more meta way than it ever has been thought about. And that's what Savage says.
Yeah, definitely.
I also have a query on a totally different pivot away from musical theater, if you're comfortable with it, into skincare. I have been getting lots of targeted ads for Tretinoin, and I believe that's what I understand Alex Earle to have pursued, probably in addition to Accutane. I know she's been on Accutane too, and some other stuff, but this Tretinoin seems like a magic cream. What do you know about it, and perhaps I'm expanding to the kitty community. If you know about Tretinoin, if you've been on Tretinoin, can you DM me and tell me or share the tea? Because is it just like a money grab by all these like online women's pharmacies, or should I get it? Because I'm in my bride era.
What does this have to do with musical theater?
No, absolutely nothing. That's why I was saying we're pivoting away from musical theater and into skincare.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like a query in regards to musical theater, but also ... And I was like, this is skincare. I don't know Tretinoin the musical.
That could be fun.
I was like,
no, I was putting the musical theater topic back on the shelf and moving on. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. By the way, I'm sorry again, like being a space cadet. I'm sorry I didn't have like more substantial thoughts. Like I do, and I've been
on what?
Holding off
Ariana Madix?
On holding off on my
you had
review to
extremely detailed thoughts.
Okay. Anyway, all right. I've actually been on Tretinoin.
What?
Yeah. There's like many bottles in the home in Florida.
Oh, well, what was your experience?
Like,
Did it help?
Probably just like Venmo you? No, send them to you. And you can try them. I think there were several dosages.
Well, I'm so glad I asked.
It didn't work.
Oh.
It didn't work for me. But also, at the time, I don't think I would go to dermatologists, and I think they were just like, yeah, okay, ... and like wrote me a prescription for whatever they were just like giving everybody else, because nothing ever worked, and I was only ever given topical things, never even dabbled into the world of like what other oral medications or anything.
Well, that's why I asked, because as you know, I started spironolactone like a year and change ago, and it has dramatically improved my skin to the point where like I don't really get acne anymore. And no one had ever told me about this in like 27 years. And I made you start. Do you think you've seen improvement? Your skin looks good from what I can say.
Well, it's the FaceTime camera, so she can't be trusted too much. But I was going to say, I'm so glad you feel that way, because I feel like, no, it's almost made my skin look worse. And I have a lot of like big painful breakouts. And I want to say
have you been using it consistently for like 90 days?
Yes. I mean, I was prescribed it in November. So
okay, it could still be kind of pre-working.
Okay.
As it's supposed to.
It also, the doctor who prescribed me it was also like, as I went there, I was like, my sister said she has this. Like, will you write me some? And she was like, well, I don't think you guys have the same issues, but like, if you want to, sure. Like, I think she was just appeasing me, but pretty much said, like, I don't know if this is necessarily going to work for you.
Well, that is so shocking to me, because she brought it up to me and was like, you should try this. Why has no one ever recommended it to you? And I get it. We're different, but like, not really in the acne department.
Right. I don't know. Whatever. It's okay.
Okay.
But
well, that's why I wanted to inquire about Tret, because I'm wondering what else everybody knows about that no one ever told me about.
I mean, I might be wrong, but I think it's like a clear, like jelly cream almost.
Per my research, they have a gel and then they have a cream. And I don't exactly...
I think I've had both.
Okay. I was like, I don't exactly know immediately like what you're supposed to... which one's heavier duty or whatever. But okay, well... I'll do some more research. Honestly, my face is fine. I'm just wanting it to be, at its absolute best for March 2025.
Of course. And I think whereas spironolactone works from the inside out, this one more so works from the outside in. And so if it's like blemishes maybe that pop up, it's like a topical like spot treatment situation, which is what I was dealing with more so when I was prescribed the Tretinoin, as opposed to now where it's more just like redness and dark spots and stuff. So.
Texture, yeah.
That's that on that.
Well, just a few other things I wanted to mention. Super Bowl coming up. We might have plans, actually. We've been invited to a friend's house while you're here.
Oh, yeah?
My friend Leanne is having a Super Bowl party, and she said there was going to be lots of dips, which is one of my favorite foods, dip of any kind.
This is forget the Super Bowl. This is like dip season.
Dip season,
it sounds inappropriate, but like...
Does it?
Isn't dip like a drug?
It's a form of tobacco, but like I don't think
Okay.
that's not for this. No. This audience is probably not associating that. I was thinking fun dip more so than I was thinking tobacco.
Fun dip. No, it's like the holiday for dips, like, you know, and nachos. It's fun. Yeah. That's exciting.
So she actually invited Matt and I, but he's going to be out of town, so I figured I could just extend my +1 to you.
Okay, good to know. When does the Super Bowl happen?
Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, February 11th.
I know, but like what time?
I think it starts at 6 Eastern.
Okay. Well, we'll discuss later.
You start rehearsals on Monday, I thought, right?
I do, but I actually accidentally kind of today set up a consultation for a voice like teacher with a voice teacher. And like the first availability was Sunday. I was like, may as well get it out of the way if I'm only going to be here for 6 weeks anyway. Like, let's get the ball rolling. But I'm not sold on that whole idea in general. So that's kind of a placeholding thing. But if it's at 2 p.m., like, anyway, doesn't matter. We'll get back to that.
So it's a voice teacher in Atlanta.
Yes. In like
exciting.
Smyrna, actually.
Right outside the door.
Yeah,
well, that's
we'll
exciting.
Talk more,
We'll workshop the schedule. But I'm excited about that. You know what's interesting is I keep seeing all these memes or whatever about like every time you complain about Taylor Swift being supportive of her boyfriend, your daughter sees you and is embarrassed, or like your daughter remembers. And apparently there's like all sorts of like alt-right trolls like mad about Taylor Swift related to football, and like I feel pretty lucky because I have seen or personally heard literally none of that, probably because my straight male significant other cares more about Taylor Swift than he does the NFL, so like he would never. But I'm just like, I feel very blessed and grateful because I do think that these people are out there and saying this stuff. I just have personally seen or heard absolutely none of it. I've only seen the people like clapping back hypothetically, and I'm like, but who are you talking to? Because I haven't seen anyone like mad about Taylor Swift. But I'm thrilled by that because it means that I am keeping good company.
Of course. So you're saying the other straight males whom you interact with are not upset about the Taylor Swiftedness of the NFL?
Well, here's the thing. I don't interact with any other straight men.
Right.
I actually was thinking about this the other day. I don't have any male friends, and I never have, except for my friend John, who does not fall into the straight male category.
Right. No, literally same. Because that's weird.
Well, this could get us canceled. Yeah. But I think there are women who do have straight men friends, and Matt has a lot of friend girls, and I'm friends with them too. He doesn't have any friend girls that I'm not friends with, but he definitely has friend girls that I met like through him. And so therefore he would be that person to many people, I think, but like couldn't be me. And I think it's mostly that straight men don't want to be my friend because we have literally nothing in common.
I think it's an us problem because all I did was dance and like be a nerd, and all you did was like run all of the school clubs in high school, and then same in college. Like, we're just girls. So it's not an other people problem. It's an us thing. But
it's
anyway,
not a problem is the thing.
No, it's not at all.
I don't feel like I'm lacking at all. And I don't want anyone to be like, wait, Kelly doesn't like me, like particularly like my friends' husbands or boyfriends. Well, firstly, if you're one of my friends' husbands or boyfriends and you think that, you're right. I probably don't like you, but I don't feel that way. Why are you gagged? I'm saying if you think I don't like you, you're probably right. But
okay,
like I'm not saying I don't
like those
my friends
who know. Yeah,
I'm saying if you have that impression, if you for whatever reason think I don't like you, and like you matter to one of, like, as an example, I can think of 2 or 3 boyfriends off the top of my head of some of my really good friends who told them, I don't think Kelly likes me, and they relayed that back to me. And most of them I actually didn't have a strong opinion about. I was like, I don't know. Do you like them? I don't think about you, and like I really don't have a strong opinion. Like, should I have a strong opinion? Do I need to hate you?
Right.
A few of them recently have moved. One in particular got moved into the I hate you category and he's canceled. And
Right.
he was one of the people that thought I didn't like him for several years. Well, you know what? Maybe you knew something I didn't. And
If the
it's
shoe
that I
fits.
wasn't going to like you eventually. But backpedaling. My friends' husbands and boyfriends that we'd hang out with all the time, of course I like them and would want to be their friend. All I'm saying is, like, we certainly didn't get there because I had, like, it was my friendship with this man. We got there by other means. And,
For sure.
And I just, when I look back on my life, I literally can't think of one straight man that I'm friends with. You know, I'll make a few amendments. The later years of college, through, like, very special interests and niche
Right.
organizations, people that I had a lot of, like, mutual overlap with, I would consider those people acquaintances and friends. Those are, like, literally the only exceptions.
Right. And Sudu, who helped you edit videos in media
That's a
class.
niche interest and overlapping experience. That's exactly who I'm talking about.
If Sudu ever stumbles upon this podcast, he's going to be like, why are they talking about me?
No, Suda would be like, hell yeah, Kel. and then we should ask him for his assistance improving the audio because he could probably help us. But
Yeah,
we
probably.
digress.
Actually, speaking of, like, media, you're in the early stages of building some websites and things.
Yeah. Just like doodling around. But yes, I officially purchased a domain yesterday, Kelly and
Wow.
Matt 2025.com.
Iconic.
And I'm just going to, like, put everybody on blast because I'm just on fire at the moment. Why is everyone doing, like, zola.com/KK967-
Right.
johnnyandSue.com and like printing that on an invitation or literally any piece of paper and expecting people to type it in?
Right.
Like, your better instructions would be just Google, you know, Johnny and Sue Zola, because that's how you're going to find that website, not by going to that crazy URL. Like,
Right.
it literally
and, like,
cost
individually typing every single character.
it cost me $22 to purchase Kelly and Matt 2025.com. And I just feel like if you're spending thousands of dollars on a wedding, you could probably spend $20 to improve your URL and make it a little bit cleaner.
Right.
And that's
but
what we've done.
Are you using, like, a wedding website like Zola?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
I could have been, like, hyper extra, you know, and, like, really needed a custom website, which, like, would be
Yeah,
something I
like-
would do.
Built from the
And
ground up.
Yeah, and I have built a Wix and a Weebly, like, from the ground up in the past for other things, but no, I'm making this easier on myself and using, like, a Zola template because they have all the
Right.
It's integrated with a registry,
Right. the
which
wedding
Matt doesn't
things.
want to do because he's like, he said the jazzier thing to do is just register for nothing and just say we have everything we need, and that's what our, like, amazing aspirational friends did. And in fact, their only thing on the registry was, like, a donation to their favorite charity. And I want
That's
to be
so
those
bitchy.
people. It
Yeah.
is so bitchy, and I want to be those people. But the reality is I need some stuff.
Right. Right. The thing is, we need things. Well, and Matt's the one to talk. He's like, I will have one pot and 2 pairs of shoes in my home. Like, if it were up to him, obviously he doesn't want to accumulate more things because he's like, whatever we need, we can get ourselves, which is true.
Exactly.
And it's amazing that you're in that place. But I'm with you. Like, the time is now, and this is the opportunity. And people do enjoy giving gifts, you know,
Exactly.
and they want to
I
give
put
you
the
something
shoe-
that you are going to use.
I put the shoe on the other foot.
Yeah.
My love language is gift giving. I love giving people gifts. So when I went on that registry of our friends to, like, send them a wedding gift and literally could not, it, like, hurt me inside.
Right.
And obviously you can bring cash, put in a card, whatever, but, like, we weren't doing that for our friends. Like, I think Matt did something, you know, special, like an experience or champagne, whatever. But
Yeah.
I wish I could be that bitchy, and I just can't. So that's why I've defaulted to Zola. But but there's, like, a super easy way you can upgrade the domain to a custom domain. That to me just adds a little bit of an elevation factor that I was seeking.
Yeah.
But yes, I did start toying around on that. The only thing, though, is that, like, we haven't taken engagement photos yet. which Matt also doesn't want to do. He was like, why do we need to do this? We've taken so many photos over the last 6 years.
Oh my God, we have to drop the Kermit and Miss Piggy.
Yeah, so
coming to an Instagram near you.
Celebrity lookalikes wise, or not lookalikes perhaps, but personalities, I am Miss Piggy and Matt is Kermit. If you know us, tell me I'm wrong. I'm not.
You can't.
You can't. But yeah, Matt didn't want to do engagement photos. He's resigned to the fact that we have to, and not because he has agreed that we need more photos, but because we get it for free included with our wedding photographer. And the point is not for more photos. It's like to have some time to get comfortable with the photographer and spend some time with them and get comfortable taking their direction. So it's more of an investment of our time rather than to get a better product for the wedding, rather than just like, ooh, let's take more pictures for something we don't need. So I was able to get him on board with that in mind.
That's great. And yes, you do have many, many photos from your various experiences throughout the past 6 years, 7 years, 6?
We just celebrated 6 years.
Okay. I think I've been telling people you've been dating for 6 years for probably like 4 years. So I'm glad.
Well, it's felt like 10 years, so.
To be fair. But I'm glad I have that number on lock now. So for the past 6 years, you know, your Instagram reflects so, but you don't actually have any professional pictures. I mean, why would you?
Well, I did hire a professional photographer for Matt's birthday party a few years ago.
Yeah, and you just had a engagement party with professional pictures.
Yeah.
Okay,
but
so I stand
they're
corrected.
different.
But in a like, we're posing.
Yeah.
And we're engaged.
We're posing and we're
engaged.
engaged.
Party.
So you know
I take all of it back, but they're different.
I was about to say, you know what wasn't in any of those photos? My engagement ring, except that's not true. It was at the engagement party. But they're different, and there's a point here. And I haven't actually secured our photographer yet. I'm going to. I've pretty much locked her in. And we're going to be doing the engagement photos in April. So at CLUCK in Florida, luckily, just before the weather gets unbearable. So point is I can't really do anything until I have the photos, because I feel like the photos are going to really influence the motif of the website. And therefore can't really lock much in. I also don't have all the information solidified to put on there, so I'm just kind of messing around at this point. But you know, it's
baby
been fun.
Steps. Yeah, it's a creative, fun thing to do. Well, I have also been in the early stages of building a website, except I've been in these early stages for about 2.5 years. So if you have any tips, let me know, because as a dancer, performer, it's well suggested that you have an online presence, but have a professional website with your dance reels and your resumes and just a little bit about you, whatever. I also think that might be kind of making its way out of the
with social media. It's just go to someone's Instagram.
Your TikTok and your Instagram is kind of more of your platform
highlights,
rather than a website. All that to say, I have never gotten around to making one, and maybe I won't, but maybe I will if you have some tips.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you know that I had kellyesavage.com for 10 years throughout my pageant career, and I kept her up to date, and that was a great. I don't know that anyone ever went to it, much like I don't know that anyone's listening to this podcast. But in the event that a judge was Googling or looking for me for some reason, they could find everything I wanted them to see in one place, and I'm sure that's the intention. So yeah, let's work on it. Wix or Weebly. This is not sponsored, but it should be. I think Squarespace is also pretty easy.
I've actually I started a free trial with Squarespace, and I was doodling around on making a website for us for this very podcast.
Oh my God! Literally focus on the task at hand.
No, that's my whole problem, guys. Again, as I say, I'm having a breakdown. I'm having an existential crisis. I don't know what to do with my life. I want to be a Disney Channel star. I want to be on Broadway. I want to be, I don't know. It's too many
things. A Real Housewife
and
of Beverly Hills.
A Real Housewife, literally. And I don't know how to get even remotely towards one of those things. But that's probably
my advice,
conversation
my sisterly advice,
another episode.
Or a professional, but My sisterly advice would be pick one thing right now to work on and work towards. And you're doing that, I think, because I feel like I'm really proud to hear that you reached out to someone in Atlanta for the time you're here. I think that that's super smart, at least to try. And that is a step closer to both the Disney Channel and theater professional goal, so I think.
Yeah. I just want to cry all the time. It's okay.
Oh my God.
If anybody else out there feels that way, you're not alone.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Jay-Z was a little messy last night at the Grammys, but I texted you this, and I really did appreciate what he said at the end, which was he was hating on the Recording Academy. Firstly saying that they have not nearly given Beyonce, his wife, the respect she deserves and have given her, 12, 14 Grammys, whatever, but never Best Album, which, like, his point is lost because the point is, like, there's different awards, but you don't necessarily, they don't all come together to be Best Album.
Right.
Beyond that, what he said was, keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up, even when you're not getting where you want to go or what you think you deserve. Keep showing up, because eventually people will see you. The opportunity will be there. And really, this all comes back to Ariana Madix. She probably had given up on her dream to ever be on stage as a professional, especially on Broadway, a long time ago. And never has she ever had a more brightly shining star than after her scumbag boyfriend did something horrible and embarrassing to her.
Right. It's so true.
And I highly doubt she saw her life unfolding in this way, where her dreams came true eventually because her boyfriend treated her like shit.
Right.
And LA didn't pan out, but Broadway did,
Right.
Yeah. And to Jay-Z's point is he's like old. I don't know how old he is now, but like mid-50s, And he clearly has been at this a very long time and did not immediately get the validation he was looking for or accolades or awards, but if you give up, you can't earn anything. But if you keep going and showing up, that's the only way to keep yourself in the game.
Of course. And a lot of times it's not even about, like, the accolades or the progress. Like, in my circumstance, like, I am very excited to have a job that I'm looking forward to starting next week and, something lined up. And everything's coming up roses, very much so, in a lot of ways. And I'm accomplishing things that I've dreamed about for a really long time. But sometimes it's so internal that it's hard to crawl out of sometimes. But that's okay. Such is life.
Yeah.
But just, like, one more thing about the Grammys, like, Joni Mitchell being served her Grammy on a silver platter like she was at the Cheesecake Factory, like, in her throne, was actually iconic. And I'm so happy for her.
Mean this in any disrespectful way, but it was giving Abby Lee in the power chair.
No, it's so true.
And obviously,
Abby Lee in her wheelchair.
Joni Mitchell is a much more respected artiste.
Yeah.
Whereas
less of a reality trash star.
Abby Lee is a disgraced TV villain, but it was giving some Abby Lee energy. Now, I think the main difference is Joni Mitchell is probably like 70 years old, 80 years old. Abby Lee is not.
Like in her 50s.
Right. Obviously, she has some sort of physical ailment going on, so we're not going to spend too much time hating on that. But yeah, that was I was like, okay, Joni Mitchell, hello. But then, like, I kind of, like, glanced away from the TV and came back and was like, is that Abby? Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah. She was giving braids. She was giving glamour. It was her moment.
Oh, yeah.
Lovely young woman.
Lovely young woman.
Some guy. Who's kind of ugly, if you want the truth. And that is my claim to fame. That is my monologue that I will be submitting to all talent agencies to get me on the Disney Channel.
The Abby Lee cameo.
Yeah, that's an Abby Lee quote, by the way. Not from Dance Moms, but from a, what are those things that...
A cameo.
A cameo, yeah. from a cameo that she recently sent to some girl on TikTok.
I saw your TikTok video remaking it first, and then I saw her doing it. Yeah.
Right. It's not like a well-used sound, but I was cackling at it.
It is funny. It's very funny. Well, I'm looking forward to you being here in a few... Oh, well, you know what? You never know what's going to pop off. But I'm looking forward to you being here in a few short days so that we can maybe make some TikToks together, because I want to be a TikTok star, and I'm stuck in my millennial on it. I just like I can't go. And I kind of was in it. I was producing some content in the fall because I just like was going for it. And now I have so many drafts from my trip. I just can't get over that hump of like not having posted them and posting new stuff. And I need to just get over it.
I totally get it. I have some of that stuck in the TikTok drafts too, as well as, and I know I was lamenting to you earlier, I have so many backlogged clips from like coming on a year ago now, like Taylor Swift concert, that I wanted to put into like a YouTube video essentially. Not even for like, I want to be a YouTuber's sake, but just to have it like chronicled and like just kind of like a virtual digital scrapbook, if you will. And like, I find it really fun. And especially when I'm like here and none of my friends are here and I'm like alone, like picking up my camera and like talking to myself is really therapeutic. And maybe that's because I'm just like a big fat narcissist, but I don't know, it brings me joy. So I enjoy like video editing and stuff. So I wanted to do that, but now my phone won't let me upload the videos to my computer. So my dreams are crushed. But
well,
I
you have to call Apple
understand.
support.
Yes, I know. I understand though that like hump of like, well, I don't want to continue forward when I have so much that I want to post from before.
Exactly.
But I think you just have to kind of like keep pushing.
Rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah, we'll work on that. I'm kind of a little bit of a chug monster too. Like I try my best, but yeah, we'll work on our content creation together.
Okay. Well, kitties, pray for us that we can get our TikTok talking together. Although all the songs are gone. Honestly, I was so into, I was going to record a Bejeweled video long ago, and it wouldn't even matter anymore. The Bejeweled song's gone. Shout out to
so sad. I feel like this
UMG.
is really going to change TikTok a lot and perhaps its popularity. So,
well, then there you go. Maybe
tough luck.
We're bouncing out just at the right time, but that will remain to be seen. Until next week, thanks for joining us. Kate, I'll see you in a few days before we record our next episode, probably on Super Bowl Sunday.
Next time you hear from us, we'll be together at last.
Woohoo! All right, well, stay warm, kitty cats. Hope you have a wonderful Super Bowl. I was going to say Valentine's Day, but we actually might be live before Valentine's Day. I don't know. Hope you have a great February.